Hi there folks, welcome to Economic Observations. My name is Chris and I am your host today, and thank you so much for watching. Hey folks, it's Thursday and we all know what Thursday is, right? Thursday is the unemployment numbers, and we had another 719,000 poor hard workers lose their job. And yet, at the same time, you can go on to CNBC and there's all sorts of good news. March jobs report is expected to be strong and show the beginning of a hiring surge. Another one says manufacturing boom brings more signs that inflation is building rapidly. Manufacturing sector index races to a 37-year high in March. CFOs haven't been this upbeat about the global economy since 2018. Folks, what is the true story? This is all this good news, and this booming, roaring economy that's coming back is all you can find on any mainstream media. You have to look deep to find the unemployment numbers. They are hard to find. You do not hear them on the news. You do not hear anything negative. And inflation is creeping up. And Jerome Powell is conducting the world's largest financial experiment ever. All right? It started way before him, but he's continuing it. And as much as the stimulus and the whole $1.9 trillion is helping Americans, it's just pushing the can further down the road. I mean, people can't be paid and create money from nothing, from doing nothing. I was just reading another article. A GM plant in Missouri is closing for 2 weeks because they have no semiconductor chips. That's right. So, sorry. They didn't arrive on time, or we didn't order them on time, or they got stuck in the Suez Canal, or whatever it may be. We have to close down because we don't have any semiconductor chips and we have nothing for our workers to do. So the plant closes. So a bunch of people, or hundreds of people, will be furloughed for 2 weeks in Missouri. Folks, all I'm trying to say, we all know that the moratoriums for rent were extended until June 30th. They were all set to expire yesterday. They realized that we're not quite ready yet, and the economy hasn't really rebounded, and there's still COVID issues and spikes around the country and whatnot, but mostly the jobs and the people are still unemployed. If there's still a high unemployment, there's still a job problem. Or they extended the rent moratorium for another 3 months. But my goodness, it's kicking the can down the road. What's going to happen in June if the situation is the same? What if the situation doesn't improve for a long time? We are in this K-shaped recovery, right? We see people in the stock market selling their homes, all sorts of things with assets. They are doing really well. If you have a job, you're doing really well. But if you don't, you're really suffering. And it's really hard. Speaking of homes, there was an open house a couple of days ago. I think it was on Sunday in a town nearby me. It was one ranch style, or a raised ranch style house. They had an open house for 2.5 hours. 290 individuals came to look at the house. And there were 23 offers made on the home. 23 offers. The real estate agent was saying, wow, if you want to sell your home fast, just contact me. But quite the contrary. Real estate agents don't sell your house. Your house sells your house. There is no need to hire a real estate agent. Put an ad on Facebook. You can sell your house yourself and save a boatload of money. You're still going to have to hire an attorney, so just hire the attorney. Or once you accept an offer, you talk to your attorney, and you'll save yourself like 2%. Like, why would you go through a real estate agent today? Anyway, 23 offers. I think they bid like $40,000, $50,000 more than the appraised value of the house. Now, who's going to give you a mortgage for that? Are mortgage companies really giving mortgages to people for bidding more than a... The thing that really blows my mind is, are these people that dumb that they think that the price of houses is only going to increase? I mean, do they understand that when the dead end comes to the street that the can is being kicked down? That there's going to be a negative effect when the forbearances on the mortgage end? Don't they understand that there's going to be a flood of houses on the market and the price is going to come down? We are going to see an epic crash. It is going to be a crash like we have never seen before. And in my opinion, only a fool would buy a house today for the going price or anything above that. We are in a crazy, crazy time period. But a lot of it has to do with the government aid. And a lot of it has to do this false sense of security that everything's going to be okay. Folks, we are in the most uncertain time than we've ever been in. Everything is uncertain. The whole future is uncertain. The only reason why there hasn't been thousands of foreclosures or thousands more people living on the streets and thousands more evictions is because of all the moratorium and forbearance and unemployment and stimulus that is in the economy. Look at the loans that businesses are taking. They are so high in debt. They are maxed out in debt. It is not a safe place to be. I've told you folks that I've, spent many years in Tanzania, and there is no stimulus in Tanzania, and there is no forbearance or moratoriums. But again, there's very few mortgages. Most people rent. And if they do own a house, you have to pay cash for it. Most of the time you build it yourself. There's no car loans. You have to buy a car cash. Everything is cash. I just had a whole bunch of paintings come in from Tanzania. There's no credit. I have to pay for them first. I have to pay for the shipping. And then I have to sell them and make the profit. And if you look at what is happening in Tanzania, people go out every day and earn a living. Majority of the population earns a daily wage that sustains them for the day. So if they go out that day, they earn enough money to buy food for dinner. That's how it is in most of the world. It is a struggle. You don't work, you don't eat. There are people who have jobs and salaries and they work for the government, or they work for a hotel or a private entity, a beer company, or whatever it may be. And they'll earn a monthly wage, and they get paid once a month. But let's face it, tour operators, hotels, anyone to do anything in the tourism industry is having a hard time. It's not easy for anybody there right now. So everyone has to hit the streets and sell a few tomatoes and maybe a papaya or a pineapple or a mango, or maybe some guy is pushing a wheelbarrow. And they get enough. They can earn $2 for the whole day. And that's enough to help them buy food. Anyway, they eat ugali with some vegetables. No meat. Very rare. But folks, can you see that coming here? What happens at the end of the moratoriums? What happens when there's no more mortgage forbearance? What happens when there's no more unemployment? Is the government just going to keep supporting everyone for a long time? I mean, they say we lost 10 million jobs. We lost 10 million jobs in the past 13 months. Where are people going to work? And those that are most affected with their job losses are people over 45 or over 50. And it's really, really hard for them to get a job. And it's really, really hard for them to get a job earning what they were earning at their previous employer. I know people who are in their 40s and even 50s who lost their jobs. They don't know where to begin. Many of them have been at their employer for 15 years. They're devastated. They're heartbroken. You give your whole life to a company. You're in management, you're in an executive. It was who you are. And those jobs are being lost every single day. And they're not being replaced. And if they are, they're being replaced with people who are cheaper. I was watching something, I think it was on PBS, and there was this guy, he was 54 years old, and he had a good job making $140,000 a year. He worked his way up in the company, and they let him go. He was working 4 jobs now, 4, to earn half of what he was earning in that one job. He said he can do it for now, but he's burning out, and he's getting tired, and he doesn't know how long he can sustain this, but he has a child in college, and he has a mortgage that has to be paid. What are these people going to do for work? How are these people going to be paying off their debt? And yeah, and I'm sure a 30-year-old or a 28-year-old or someone who is working and never saw anyone suffer through unemployment, and they think that they're going to be worth what they're worth and have a job forever, only to find out 20 years down the line, when you still have 10 years of a very expensive mortgage to pay, that you're out of work. It's the same time your kids are going into college. It's the same time your cars are breaking down, or your hot water heater, or your furnace, or any other appliance. People are in for a rude awakening. And I think times are really tough right now for a lot of people. And times are really good for a lot of people. But they have no idea what's coming. Because when this forbearance and moratorium and unemployment and stimulus and all of these programs stop, that's when the problem's really going to arise. And just because you have a job today doesn't mean you'll have it tomorrow. 719,000 lost their careers today. And for many of them, it's devastating. Folks, that's all I got today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you all soon. I appreciate you, and have a wonderful day.